All right, you guys, I'm super excited about this. So we're just going to do a live power hour. I'm going to do some explaining. So I'm going to walk you through start to finish what I do. Like when I sit down to work, this is what I'm doing. If you're not doing these activities every day, you're not actually working your business. Okay. So this is what it means to actually coach, to actually do the stuff. So, so first of all, I told a few of you, if you don't already have invites ready to go, like if you don't already have kind of a script of what you want to say when you're inviting, these are things that you need to have in place. You need to have an invite to your next group. You need to have an invite to coaching. You need to have some influencer accounts on Instagram that are like your tribe, your people that you want to be working from. And as you do these things and as you have these things in place, you can fly through your power hour and the activities that it takes. It takes forever if you're just kind of scrambling and you're lost. So that's what I want to start with first. And so you might need to spend some time coming up with those things in this power hour. But as you have those, then everything is super simple going forward. So I am going to work off this. So this is what's in the New Coach University. This is the monthly business tracker. These are the activities that you need to be doing to grow your business. And this is still what I do to this day, 5 years into it. Okay. So obviously the very first thing, workout, check into your challenge group. That's not part of your power hour. That's just essential. You need to do it. So that's part of it. Make sure you get it done. Shakeology Performance Line Meal Plan. Obviously our journey is number one. And then the post 2 to 3 times on social. That's just throughout the day. So before you get into a power hour, you generally want to at least have a post up, because lots of what we're going to be doing is easier if you have likers and story watchers and people to pull from. So you're not just randomly trying to find people. You can have more of a focused group of people that are already engaged in what you're doing, already familiar with your stuff and your journey and who you are. And then that will have better results when you're building relationships and connecting and inviting and all that stuff. So make sure that you're posting as well. Okay, moving on. So the very first thing I do is I do birthdays on Facebook, just because it's a really simple way, a no-brainer way to connect with new people every single day, because most of the time you'll have birthdays every single day. So it takes like 2 seconds going through your birthday list, shooting them a message or a comment, whatever you want to do on their wall, and just connecting with new people. This is also how I clean up my Facebook list. So I'll go through the birthday people and I'll either say happy birthday and wish them well and connect with them. If you want to end with a question, you can, because then it carries on the conversation. Like, what are you going to do to celebrate, or something like that? Because then it's not just like a like, lots of them will actually answer you back, and you can kind of carry on the conversation from there a little bit. If they're not someone that you're gonna say happy birthday to, and they're not your person, you're like, who is this person? I would never invite them to a challenge group. I'd never want to work with them on my team. I remove them from my list, because your Facebook is your storefront. That is your business, and your Instagram, obviously. But that's just a really simple way every single day to weed out some people that don't need to be there. Okay. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and send your birthday messages. And then we'll move on to the next one, which is connecting with 50 people. Okay. This one is one that freaks a lot of people out, and it's not hard, you guys. It's not hard at all. So what I do the majority of my work on Instagram. And so what I do we'll expand first. Let's expand and then we can connect. Okay. So like I said, you want to find some target kind of influencer accounts that have followings that are your people. So you're not trying to recruit or get these big, huge pages into your group, but you're using their pages to connect with their followers that are your type of people. I can't stress enough the importance of being intentional about finding your tribe. And that looks different for everyone. It's not like, for me, it's not a physical thing. It's not I want my girl to look like this physically. To me, I want positive, uplifting women who want to grow. So obviously that doesn't look like a certain image, but I can get their vibe and their energy when I go to their profile and I see their stuff. So I like to connect with, obviously, women. I like to connect with moms, but I like to connect with non-moms too. I don't really care, but that's just my season of life. So that's who relates to me most. I like to connect with people who are interested in fashion or interested in beauty stuff or interested in like all sorts of things. And that's not just the fitness people, right? But I also like to connect with people who are already living a healthy lifestyle, already passionate about nutrition, already passionate about just the way they feel when they move their body, because that's such a simple way to then talk to them about coaching. So there's very different types of people that I'm connecting with, but I'm being intentional about that every single day. So what I do is on Instagram, I have collections, okay? So if you don't know how to do collections, it will save your life. And let me see, where do you do it? Is it on your homepage? Let me see. Okay, so when you go to your home screen, can you guys see this? When you go to your home screen on Instagram, at the very top, you will see a little like bookmark thing. It's like a little ribbon. If you click that, that's where your collections are, okay? So you click that, where's the camera? And then you can see your collections. So if you don't have collections form, that's the first thing I would do. And what I do is I have one collection that says solid accounts to connect with. And that's me, that's solid accounts that I'm connecting with their people. Like these are the influencers. These are, if you're a teacher, you want to connect with other teachers, you would find some really, there's some incredible teacher accounts. You would find some teacher accounts. Some of them have like 50,000, whatever people of teachers connecting with each other, sharing resources, sharing practices, sharing all of these things. And you would find 1 or 2 or 3 solid accounts, put them in this collection, and then you would work from those when you're going to do your power hour, okay? Same with Tone It Up Girls. Tone It Up Girls are a killer target because they're already doing what we do. They just paid money to do it. They don't get paid. And so helping them see the light, that this is way cooler, is like, that's something that would be a smart investment of your time, because they're just awesome people that love living healthy, active lifestyle, love the community, love everything that we love. They just are doing different workouts. Same with, I like to connect with Utah moms because lots of them are LDS. They're of my same faith, so we just have that similarity. So I have some really solid mom bloggers and some really solid other like fitness moms that aren't doing Beachbody, and they just have a bunch of mom followers that want to be healthy, need help. So I'm just trying to give you guys ideas because it's going to look different for everyone, and you got to do your homework a little bit. So spend some time finding some accounts, and the best way to find them, you guys, and this is super cool that Instagram is doing this now. If you go to the search bar, that's the explore page, okay? At the very top, they just added this. There's now sections based off of what you're posting and what like your interests are. And so like, for instance, mine say food, sport. Oh, food is first, of course, because I like to eat. Food, sports, fitness, style, beauty, travel, do it yourself, decor, dance. So these are all like, this is my target. So I would go to, like, say I wanted to go to fitness, I would click into it, and then all of these pages come up. These are all going to be fairly bigger accounts because they're getting engagement. That's why they're on the explore page. So I would simply click on one. Here's a transformation, and look and see if it's solid. Okay. So like, here's a girl, for instance, she's a runner. Okay. So she's super cute, pretty, like probably in her 20s. She's got 12,000 followers. So that's solid. And there's high engagement. Like her posts have 40, 50 comments. So she's one that is totally my type of girl. One, I would talk to this girl to try and get her to coach because she looks awesome. That's down the road. But she's also one that I would put on my collections for being a target to pull from. So I would go to her account, put her on the collection, engage with some of her posts, When I say that, I just mean liking and commenting on a couple just to connect and build a relationship, okay? Once I do that, and I follow her because I want to see her stuff in my feed. Once I do that, I'll click into one of her pictures, and I will just go to all of the comments, and I will just start clicking on their name, and it takes me about 2 seconds to see if they're my type of person or not. So I make sure they're not a coach already. 2, I make sure they're in the US, Canada, or the UK. And generally speaking, lots of people will put where they're from, like if they're in another country. Lots of them will be in another language. That's a clear sign. And lots of them will tag places in their pictures. So sometimes it just takes a second and they'll tag like Michigan, and I'm like, okay, sweet. So that's something to be aware of, because you don't want to be wasting your time on connecting with people in Sweden. Like right now, we can't help them yet. So that's just not a smart way to invest your time. So make sure that they have a solid location. So like, for instance, I randomly clicked on this girl, Jesus and Family, fitness instructor, personal trainer, hello, marathoner, half marathon, registered nurse. Okay. That is like, I'm like, yes, I love you already. Follow, like a few pictures, comment on a couple. And then this is the trick, you guys, and this is what will save you so much time. Once you find a solid person, get them on a collection right away. So you have to have this flow in place as you're working. There's a system to the madness. You're not just randomly liking and commenting and then hope they come back and want to get in your group. That is not how it happens. So I love this girl. So I'm just going to click on one of her pictures, and then I click on this bottom right-hand side, the ribbon. I hold it down, and then it says save to. Then I can save it to my collections. So what I originally did is I originally had a challenge prospects collection and a coach prospects collection. Then, and I did this for months, and that's where I would connect, build relationships with intention, because those are my people. But then the collections got ginormous, and I was having a really hard time finding all the people in the middle because it stays in order. And so then what I did is I separated it out. So this is what I would do if I were you to make your life easier. I separated it out by letter. So I have an A collection, a B collection, a C collection, all the way to Z. And whatever their first name is, and if they don't list their first name, you could just do their Instagram name. It's not that big of a deal. Just get them on a list. And so her name is Abigail. So I would find my A collection and save it to my A collection. So what that does is then when I'm nursing throughout the day, or when I go do my power hour tomorrow or whatever, I can pick a couple letters of my collection, and instead of just scrolling my news feed and mindlessly doing whatever, I'm going to a collection where I know these are my girls. These are people I want to know. These are people I want to hang out with in real life. These are people I want to build a tribe with. These are people I like, good energy. And I'm simply being interested in their life. I'm liking and commenting on their pictures. I'll go watch their stories. We'll chat back and forth. No agenda tied to it whatsoever, other than really getting a feel for who they are, if we vibe well. And generally, when you do this, they will come back to your page. They will see what you're about. They will start showing interest in what you're doing. And then once you kind of warm up that relationship a little bit, you can send them an invite. And lots of times it happens naturally. So lots of times we'll be in a conversation about whatever, and it'll come up, oh my gosh, I love your posts. You have 4 kids. How do you do this? And I'm like, oh, it keeps me sane. This is totally like what keeps me on track. And then we'll just start chatting. What do you struggle with? Or da-da-da. And it comes up, girl, you should check out my next boot camp. Like, you're totally the type of person that I'd love to work with in there. So lots of times it comes up naturally when you are being intentional, when you are, where are you at? When you are being smart about who you're talking to. So don't waste your time just scrolling stuff, you guys. And this is what I talk about all the time. You can legitimately build a freaking incredible business in 1 to 3 hours a day, but you have to be focused, and then you have to be disciplined enough to unplug and be done when you're done. And if you show up and you work and you do your stuff it's easier to let yourself unplug and be done because you feel accomplished and you're like, I got everything done I needed to do today. So that is all I'm doing, you guys. So I go to this girl, obviously got her on a collection, and then I'll go to her pictures and I'll go to some of her commenters. And so for this girl, Nebraska runner. So I go, obviously she's in the US. She's not a coach. She's a marathoner. And I'm like, sweet, she looks awesome. Same process. Like some of her stuff, comment on a couple things, get her on a collection. And this is what I'm doing as I'm expanding and as I'm connecting and building the relationship. Okay, so you can kill two birds with one stone. I'm just gonna get her on a collection while I'm here so I don't forget, because she's cute and I think she would vibe well with us. And I'm gonna give you guys some time to actually do this, okay? So are there any specific questions when it comes to this? The key is to have a flow and have a system, because if you're mindlessly doing this stuff, it's going to take way long and it's going to be impossible to track. So Amy said, so connect with 50 new people every day? No, I'm connecting with 50 people, period. So, well, I connect with hundreds and hundreds. I'll be truthful. I don't connect with just 50, but 50 is the minimum. So I will connect with new people as I'm expanding, which obviously on here, it just says expand your network 15. The thing with these are bare minimum. These are, if you want to at least be growing a little bit, these are the essentials. If you want to grow faster, all you need to do is do more of these things. So more intentional time expanding your network, more intentional time connecting with people, more intentional time sending more invites. And so it depends on what you want to do. If you want to raise your numbers, you can. So I'm connecting with way more than 50, but it's really easy to do because I can go to my few collections, bust through some likes and comments, go through my stories, comment on some things, and you can bust them out super quick. And I don't track connections because I know that I'm doing hundreds a day. That's not something that I need to be like, I need to make sure I do 50, so I need to make sure I do this. I track it by them being in the collection. Then I know, okay, I went through A's today, B's today, C's today, D's today. I know I got through all of those girls. Now I'm going to go on to EFG tomorrow, HIJ, whatever. And that's how I track, because it's a system that works for me. So you've got to, as you're figuring this stuff out, you just kind of find your flow. But that's been really effective for me to do my power hour on Instagram. Okay, so we are going to, it's 10:18. I'm going to mute myself. We're going to just expand and connect and build a relationship for the next, we'll do it for 15 minutes. And then we will go into sending some invites. Okay, so I'll turn on a little bit of music in the background so it's, you don't like hear me breathing. I'll mute myself. And then we get to work. All right, let's see. This is Drake. Hopefully he doesn't drop any naughty words. Trisha asked what you do with private accounts. So if they look like, because usually you'll see their picture and then you'll see their bio. If they still look like someone I would vibe with, I'll request to follow them. And then once you'll get a notification when like that request goes through, and then I'll just start connecting from there and add them to a collection. So I totally still request, if they look solid like my jam, I'll request to follow them. Lots of them will deny you because they keep it super private, but lots of them will accept you if you look normal. So just look normal.
Hey, Micah. How do I type a comment?
Yeah. How do you what?
How do I type a comment on here? I'm just wondering, do you have a script? So people that I've added as friends on Facebook and they've accepted my friend request, do you have a script for what then you'll say to them?
I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't message someone. So the second that they accept, if on Facebook, on Facebook, people are a lot more private. And so if I friend request someone on Facebook, I don't message them right away. I just start interacting on their stuff and showing interest on their stuff like a normal human.
Okay.
So if I feel like when people message me, I'm like, you have an agenda. And so just because I feel that way, when people do it, I don't do that to people.
Right.
But I do start being active on their stuff. So I would just make sure on Facebook, you either have an interest list where you're putting new people.
Yeah.
Or a notebook or whatever, just with names. So you can intentionally just go to their page and connect with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So hopefully you got some expanding, connecting, or maybe you got a system in place. You'll get fast at this. Like I promise you, this starts to just become like clockwork. And this is the funnest part because we're literally finding new friends every day that we just want to hang out with virtually. And so if you are being intentional about finding the people you vibe with, you'll actually look forward to what you're doing every single day. And you won't be like, oh, I need to go connect. I need to go expand. Like this is what is fun. Okay. So now we're going to, hold on. Kennedy just messaged me. Let me see what she said. Can't figure out how to ask questions with the Zoom. A to Z collections, are those only for coaches? No. So once I stopped doing my coach prospect collection and my challenge prospect collection and just started doing letters, that anyone goes on there. So whether they're a challenge prospect or a coach prospect. And then the way that I know what to invite them to is simply by what they're posting. So for me, or in our conversation, but for me, if I go to someone's page and can see that they are not posting about fitness whatsoever, it's just like mom life, I automatically invite them to a challenge. If they're already sharing a health journey or any type of interest in what we do as coaches, I automatically invite them to coaching. So I decided I didn't need to know if they were a coach prospect or a challenge prospect because I could decide like that and then invite them that way. So now anyone just goes on their letter no matter what type of person they are. Okay. So now it's time to invite. So I recommend either doing blitzes, and that's what's on here. You can either do like blitzes where you just invite like 2 days a week, but you invite a lot, like 25 to 50 people on those days, or you can invite 5 to 10 a day and just do it, make it part of your daily thing. I kind of go through phases. So forever, I only did blitzes. And the reasoning behind that was because in my brain, I like to compartmentalize things. So I could, if I knew I had a challenge group that I needed to fill by Monday, I could really focus on inviting that week and do it 2 to 3 days and invite like 50 a day. And then the majority of my next power hour the next day was on responding to messages, following up with people, getting them information. And that's where I spent the most of my time. Right now, I'm kind of in a phase of just inviting like 10 to 20 every single day. And then I will make time every single night before bed to clear out my inbox and just make sure that I'm answering messages. So you can do whatever works best for you. Try different things and see what you like. But the most important thing, you guys, and what you guys will soon find out, is if you don't have something to invite to, you won't do your invites. So you have to always have a challenge group start date, or if you have a current group, don't be afraid to continue to invite to it and just fill people in. Let them jump right in and pick up where you guys are at with their program. But it's super important to every single month have a hard deadline start. And then in the cracks of that, you can be inviting either to coaching or you can be inviting to continue to jump in with you in your group. If you don't have something to fill, you will not do this. So I want you to get that through your noggin. So for instance, we're in the middle of lift 4. We're in week 1. I'm still inviting people to jump in with us. It doesn't matter if they're on the same day. They can jump right in, start on Monday. They'll be on week 1. We'll be on week 2. It doesn't matter. It's the same workouts, like same days anyways. So I'm still inviting to that, and I'm still inviting to coaching every single day. And then I just plug them into the sneak peek. So if you're like, I don't know what to do for invites, in our Google Drive, I posted this link at the top at the beginning of the call. In our Google Drive, in the team or the Coach University resources folder under challenge groups, there's like a 21-day boot camp combo example or something, and there's some invites in there if you want to look at those. But basically, the easiest thing, I'll post again, the easiest thing that you guys can do is get an invite that is your voice, you love, and then you just have to tweak it. So as long as I have like a skeleton, then I can, whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever I'm feeling that week or that month, I tweak it. And that's the one I copy paste to my girls. And how I'm choosing who I'm inviting is either one, I go to my stories and I will legit, like I'll make sure they're not a coach. And sometimes coaches get invited because I can't tell they're a coach, which is sometimes not a good thing. But I go through my stories and my invite will say something, and this is an example that's in there, like, hey girl, thanks so much for watching my stories. I notice. Have you ever considered jumping in a group? Or like, it's just super simple. Okay, so get something that you like, that's your voice, and find your people and invite them. So story watchers are a great place to start. Your engagers on your post are a great place to start. Like, especially if you did a workout post or a call to action for your group, you could just do one of those simple, I totally appreciate the support. You're such a sweetheart, or whatever your voice is. Did you want to get some info about it? You'd be so fun to have in here. Okay. Don't overthink it. I would, in the notes section of your phone, have like 3 or 4 invites that you like, that you make your own, and then you simply go through your people and send them. Do not overthink it. Do not stress about it. Do not tie the emotion to the result. Who cares if they're ready? Who cares if they say yes? Who cares if they say no? Who cares if they say, heck no? It doesn't matter. All our job is, as coaches, is to lead by example and get this solution in front of as many people as we can, because it's a gift. It will bless their life. It will help them. But if we're not talking to enough people, we won't find the people who are ready. So you guys need to understand that invites are seeds planted. You're not going to invite 3 people and get 3 challengers. If you do, you need to be doing like a course on it, because you're amazing. Okay. So you need to just do them. Make sure you're doing them consistently every single day, or do your blitzes, and then understand that you'll find the few in between. There is no way that you cannot help at least 3 to 5 people every single month if you are legitimately showing up and doing this the whole month. Not one day a week, not when you feel like it. If you are doing this stuff every single, either 5 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever you decide to do your power hour, there's no way you won't find at least 3 to 5 people that are ready to get started with you. And if you are struggling with that, you need to look at who you're expanding with, who you're building relationships with, how you're talking to them, and the confidence and belief that you're portraying. Because a lot of what comes across in the invites is your voice and your confidence. And so there's a lot of factors. There's not just, you can't just invite, never post about what you're doing, and then expect people to want to join you. That's why your own journey and getting your transformation and sharing your story and being a product of the product is always the most important. And that's also why PD, personal development, every single day is so important. Because if your negative vibes going into inviting, that negative crap will spill all over the people that you're talking to. So if you're scared of invites, I would highly recommend doing your PD and then sending your invites like right after. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I do PD, I feel super courageous and like on top of the world and like I could conquer anything. So that's when you want to do the things that scare you the most. So I'm going to give you guys, let's do 10 minutes and we're going to invite 20 people. Don't overthink this. You can either invite to coaching or to your challenge group. And this is my invite to coaching right now. Totally make it your own. But I'm simply going through all of my girls that I've been connecting with, building relationships with. They're already sharing some type of journey. And I'm saying something along the lines of, let me find it in here. Hey girl, emoji. Okay, I don't want to be creepy or weird, but I was stalking your page and I've wanted to message you, but I always got too nervous. Emoji. You're like my perfect coach material. Not sure if you know, but I mentor ladies to do what I do. Would you want to make an income sharing your journey and inspiring others? Because I would totally love to take you under my wing and help you if so. Emoji. I can send you some info over if you want. So I just send that. Like, I don't overthink it. I go through my collections, go to their page just to verify one more time that they're not a coach, and I send it. And I've been doing 20 a day. What I've found is a lot of people don't write back. I will get a couple that are like, no, thanks, I'm happy doing my own thing. And when they do say that, I always comment back and just say something like, girl, like, no prob. If you ever want to check it out, I'm your girl. Like, holler at me, we can chat, and I can fill you in on how this could bless your life. So even if they say no, I leave the door open and say, come back to me because I will take care of you. Okay. So, and most of them are like, oh my gosh, okay, thanks so much. Da, da, da. And if they say yes, send me info. All I do is I say, okay, girl, sweet. And then we have that Snoop group that you guys can all utilize. Okay. That sneak peek info group. So I would say, okay, girl, are you on Facebook? Because we have an info group on there that can fill you in on all the nitty gritty. Generally they are. If they're not, I have an email sequence that I send them. If you have someone that's not on Facebook, I would find a What is Coaching call from my YouTube and just send them one link to the most previous What is Coaching call. Send it to them, say, watch this, I'll follow up with you. But if most of the time they are on Facebook. So I say, okay, girl, are you on Facebook? And they're usually like, yeah, I am. And I say, okay. And I send them exactly what to do. And it says, okay, sweet. I'll get you hooked up with the info. Number one, send me a friend request so I can make sure that you get added. And then I do facebook.com/Micah Folsom 1. So it links them directly to me so they don't have to like search me and give me that excuse that they couldn't find me, whatever. Give them my link. And then I say, 2, here is the direct link to the group. Request to join and let me know, shoot me a message once you do so I can make sure you get in. So then I just send them the direct link. They request to join, they get in. And then once I see that they're in, I tag them under the first video and I say, okay, girl, check this out. I'm so pumped to get you the info and to chat with you when you're done. Okay. So that's it. That's the flow. And you know what else I've noticed is that every once in a while, you'll get like a snarky, is this Beachbody? Because if it is, like, no. And you know what I do with those people? I send them a video and I say, girl, it is Beachbody and it is freaking the best thing ever. What's your deal with it? And generally they're like, oh, I just get invited all the time. So you have to understand, you guys, if you're targeting some solid people that have inspiring, high energy, whatever accounts, they've probably been invited. But what I remember from Summit, clear as day, more than anything else, is how many of the top leaders said, I got invited 5, 10, 15 times and said no every single time. But there's always that one time when the stars align, the right person comes into your life, they're ready for it, the timing is right, and we just have to be so confident in what we have to help them that we don't care if you get some snarky comments, okay? Does it sting? Yeah, I still take it personally. I'm like, dude, what the F is your problem with Beachbody? Like, don't even come at me, bro. Like, I will defend Beachbody until I'm blue in the face. But I have to understand where they're coming from, where there are a lot of coaches that don't take time to build relationship, don't take time to connect, don't give a rat's A about them as a person, and just are trying to hit Success Club or whatever. Like, you have to understand the way that we do things and the way that we come across on our team, what we teach and what we're about is genuinely sharing the gift because we know it works, because we know it will bless their life, because we know that we have a solution that is too good not to share. So if you lead with that, when they give you their snarky comments, like, just let it bounce off and be like, girl, I'm sorry you've had a bad experience. Clearly, I'm not like that. If you ever want to check it out, I would totally love to help you. Always just be the bigger person and show love. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. And this is why I literally avoided invites for years. Avoided them because I would take it so personally that they were coming at me, and I hated it. I hated being rejected. I hated that they thought what I was doing was salesy or snarky or whatever. But then I had to take a step back and go, But I feel that way when I get these messages from other, like it works and things like that. I'm like, oh gosh, that again. And so then I have to take a step back and understand where they might be coming from and just let them know why I'm different and why the experience with me would be different. And so if you don't have that confidence and that belief yet in yourself, that's what you need to focus your PD on, is that belief and that confidence, because once you have that, your conversations will be different. The vibe will be different. The way you show up to those conversations will be completely different. And then the outcome will be different. Okay. So that was a lot, but we are going to send invites. So first go through your stories, then go through your likers. Then if you have collections already of people that you've been connecting with, send them an invite, whether it's to your group or whether it's to coaching. Don't overthink it. Get 20 done. And I'm only giving you 10 minutes. It should not take you long. 20 invites. Comment in the section when you're done. I'm going to mute myself. Okay. Game on. Ready, set, go. I'm going to jump in here really fast just so we have this like on record. Another really easy way to invite is to use your stories. And I've talked about this in another power hour, but use your stories and like legitimately talk about it. So lots of times when I'm posting my workouts, I'll end it with, I have 3 more spots in my next group. Message me if you want the info, or I'll do a poll and say, do you need a game plan to reach your goals? Or do you need a workout that'll whatever. Ask a question and then I'll say like, yes. And then next to it, I'll put like, send me info. So double positive. And then whoever answers it will get an invite as well. Or they'll message you if they see it. Your stories is an awesome place to send invites and to always be inviting people to join you, because the people that show up to watch your stories are people that actually are choosing to watch your stories. So you have a little bit more leeway as far as how honest and blunt and real you can be about who you're looking to work with or stuff about your group or whatever. And don't be afraid to invite them publicly in your stories and just be real and talk about it there too. Okay. All right. Moving on. I'll give you guys an idea really quick. So I'm just going through my stories, and this is what I'm sending, and I just made this up as I went. It's for Live 4, obviously. So it just says, hey, Katie, I'm getting a few more girls started with us for this new program and wanted to see if it's something you'd want to do. Emoji. Totally fine if it's not your jam, but I didn't want you to miss it if you have some goals you want help rocking. Emoji, emoji. So like, I like to give them an out so that one, they're more likely to respond and be like, oh yeah, it's not, or whatever. At least we connect on a level and we can keep chatting or whatever. And two, it's just not so like they don't put their walls up so high if then they don't feel like you're like attacking them. Okay. So that's just an example. And I'll just go through my stories and rock out 20 like that super quick. Keep working. Okay, another example. I got a response from one of the girls already. How much is it? Okay, how does it freak you out when people say that? Don't let it freak you out when people say that. Be confident in what we have. So my go-to response when someone says, how much is it? That's not the first thing that I want to talk to them about. I want them to actually know what we're doing. So that is why, you guys, that's why in our coach training, I teach, or part of the training on the challenge group day is to create an application form that has the info on it. And I highly suggest you have a video, but you don't have to right away. But when they say, how much is it? I say, it depends on the best game plan for you. The prices vary. And then I say, go. And then I have a page that has the info. You could have your link to your form. And on the very first page of your form, it should have the info. Okay. So you're talking about your group. You're talking about the value of it in the video. If you have a video, and then they're telling you about them in the about me part. So I say, it depends on the best game plan for you. go here and you can get all the info, and then you can tell me more about you so I can know how to best help you and what will be the best game plan for you. I'll link up to my form, send it over, and then the process from there, make sure you get them on either a list in a notebook or whatever. Once you've sent info, you need to track that, because if they don't fill out the application within 2 days, I'll shoot them a message and just say, hey girl, just wanted to check in with you. Spots are almost filled, but I didn't want you to miss it. Did you have a check to look at the info? Or did you have a sec to look at the info? And then that will either remind them to do it, or they can say, yeah, it's not for me, or whatever. I don't care what they say at that point. I just want them to know I didn't forget about them and touch base with them, because life gets busy. Okay. So highly, highly, highly recommend you have a form, application form. And that's why it's in the Google University. You can make a copy of mine, tweak it, customize it to you. That will make your life so much easier, because if you're sending 20 invites a day and people are responding, it is going to suck the living life out of you to be in a conversation back and forth all day long with all of these people that are like, well, how much is it? What is it? What do you do? Can you tell me more about it? That just saves you the time. You streamline it. All the information's one place. If they're actually interested, they will fill out the form. They'll take 5 minutes to fill out the form. And if they're not ready to invest in themselves, they won't, but they also won't waste your time either. Okay. So you got to be a smart CEO, and we teach you how to do that in the training. So make sure that you're actually applying what you learn in there, because it's in there for a reason. Jade said, once I made my own video, my responses increased greatly. Seriously, you guys, it is a game changer. When someone can see your face, hear your voice, hear your excitement, get to know who you are, game changer. So if you haven't made a video yet, I highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be anything. All you're doing is you're sharing what you do in your groups. You're sharing your value as their coach, because that's what 99% of people don't have, is that support system, the community, the ongoing motivation and inspiration and all that stuff, the accountability. And then you're just building value around what they're getting with BOD, with Shakeology, with Performance Line, whatever you're talking about. And then in the video, I wouldn't like give specifics. I would just say it depends on what's going to be best for you. But they range from $160 to $450, depending on what pack you want to get, if you want to go all in or if you want to start with something a little smaller. Yeah, your videos from YouTube attached. So on the form, you click like add media, or there's something, add something, you click you put the URL link in, and it pulls up your video on the form. So it's really simple. Okay. It's 11. So we've already been on for an hour. Okay. So in your power hour, you're going to have sent 20 invites, bust them out. I'm not kidding you guys. You should be able to bust out 20 invites in like 5-10 minutes tops. So you should not be, if you're finding that you don't have people to invite, it means you need to just up the ante, like major on your expanding and connecting. Okay. So if for a little bit, if you only send 3 invites a day, but you spend a lot more time expanding and connecting so that you can build up your invites, that's the importance of doing all of these things consistently each day in your power hour, because there's a funnel. Okay. And I did a training about this in the Do Your Crap training. There's this funnel, and it starts with expanding. You have to be expanding. You have to be connecting and building relationships so that you can always have people to invite. And then you'll get a few people that filter through the funnel and all that stuff. And obviously following up is a part of that too. But if you're constantly doing this stuff, you always have a flow. You always have people to connect with. You always are growing, and you always have people to reach and to help. If you don't do the essential stuff, if you don't do your crap, you will run out of people. You will start sending cold invites. You will get no response. You will get frustrated. You will be like, this sucks and I hate my life. Okay. So I'm trying to make your life a lot easier by helping you know what the essentials are and just be consistent with those, because that's what builds your business. Mallory said, I fill it out in my way, attach the video and have it on my website, or have it as a link saved on my phone to send. The form, you have it as a link. So in the New Coach University, on the challenge group page, There should be there is instructions. There's instructions on how to edit it and all that stuff. So you simply make a copy of it, edit the copy, and then you will, when you go to the form, you'll click send and it'll give you a link. I always copy that link and then I go to tinyurl.com and I make a short link. That's really easy for me to memorize. So my 21-day boot camp link is tinyurl.com/MFF challenge for Micah Folsom Fit. So you would make a short link that's easy for you to memorize. And then in your post, you can refer to that. In your messages, you can say, okay, girl, check this out. And then I'll reach out to you. TinyURL, It links up, they go to it, and it's super easy. So the quicker and earlier on in your business that you streamline this process, the more success you'll have. You'll be able to do more of the essential stuff because you're not stuck in these conversations that are going on forever. And then they'll be like, oh, just kidding, I'm not ready. And then you're like, sweet, I just talked to you for like 6 days and poured my heart and soul into you. And now you're not ready. So just save yourself the trouble, get a form, do the video, do the brunt work early so that you can make your life easier for the rest of your life. Okay. All right. And then the last part of the power hour obviously is responding to the messages and following up. So I always follow up. The way that I do it, I don't follow up with every single person that I invite because I just don't. I will continue to build the relationship with them and connect with them. But if they don't even respond, then I don't want to waste my time continuing to follow up. The people I'm following up with are the people that want information. So if I send them information and if they're semi-interested, I'm following up with them just to check in with them and saying, hey girl, I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. Did you have a sec to check it out? Or what do you think? Or do you want to jump in? Okay, super simple. Make it about them. It's not about you. That's how you do your follow-ups. And then responding to messages. My biggest recommendation for this is to block out time. And I do it throughout the day, just in little blocks. So when I'm nursing, I'll bust out 20 Instagram messages super quick. At nighttime before bed, I'll bust through 20, 30 messages super quick. If you are trying to answer your messages all throughout the day as they're coming in, you are going to, once again, hate your life. Okay. So if you guys are understanding the reoccurring theme here it is very simple to work this business with intention, but it takes discipline because you have to teach yourself, I don't have to respond to all this stuff every single second of the day. I can actually be disciplined enough to work my business in my power hour, a block of the day when my kids are playing. Maybe it's after you guys have lunch and they're just playing. You can sit down, do 10 minutes of messages. Great. Do it before bed. Great. Whatever works for you, work it in power pockets and just be intentional and don't be scattered. Okay. That is my biggest tip for this, because if you're sending 20 invites and if you're connecting with 20 new people and whatever, you're going to have a lot of messages coming in. So you don't need to feel like you need to get back to them right away, but I would get back to them. I would try within 24 hours. Amy said, how do you send video snippets on Instagram now? Yes, that is killer, you guys. So all you do is, and that's another good idea for invites. You guys could totally take a video and it can only be 15 seconds. Take a video and just say, hey girl, I don't know if you saw my last post about my group, but I'm finding 3 more people who want to jump in. Just wanted to check with you and see if you wanted to get the info. You could say all that in 15 seconds. It's your face. And you could send that to every single person for your invite. I dare you to try it because the response will be 100 times better than just getting a written thing. And anytime you can respond back with a video message, way better too. But just people like to see normal humans and like to see your face. Okay. So the way that you do that is you either take a video and then you can, for instance, I'll go to this girl. You click the little thing right there and it goes to your photo. It goes to your camera roll. and you would just pick the video and send it. Or you can click the camera right there. And then when you're actually responding, it just goes to a normal video mode. You would record it, send it, and then be done. So that's I'm glad you brought that up. That's a super great way to respond and to send those invites. So play with that too, because if you feel like you're not getting a good response just from your text, like your normal messages, play around with it, do a video, just be normal, just be you, and then send that for your 20 invites and see the difference in response that you get. But any chance that I can respond back, even if it's just someone asking me, where'd you get your shirt? I love it. I'll do a video response back and be like, hey girl, thanks. I got it at Target. It's my favorite store ever, or whatever. And then they're like, oh, she's a normal human. Sweet. And all of a sudden that just like warms up the relationship way faster than just getting a text message back. Okay. So the thing with this business is it is all based off of relationships. It's all based off of building trust. It's all based off of being a normal human, being authentic, being relatable. Because when you're relatable to people, you're not going to be relatable to everyone, and that's fine. We don't need everyone to like us. We only need our people to like us enough to open up so that we can help them. So like with social media, they're coming out with so many new ways where you can just connect with people so much faster. That's why Facebook Live, that's why stories, that's why these things are all the rage, because it humanizes you and it makes you normal, and it's not perfected. It's not this like far off, distant, edited version. It's you, real life, real human, showing up. And that's when people break down their walls and will connect with you on a deeper level. Okay, so that's when we're in our power hour each day. That is what we're doing. We are being a real human, connecting with people, and we're just trying to find the people who are ready for us to help them with the solution that we have. Okay, so when you're in conversations with people, just one more tidbit before we get off. When you're in conversations with people, don't try and just lead with what you have. Like, find out more about them. Ask them questions. What are they struggling with? You can lead the conversation without ever saying anything about what you're doing or Beachbody or whatever, in a way that then makes them talk about what you need to hear. So if we can find out what people are struggling with and where their pain points are, we can then come in and say, girl, I totally feel you. Have you looked into my boot camp? We talk about this. We focus on this. We do this. Like, this would help you so much. So all we're doing is we're filling that void for someone who needs what we have. They just don't know it yet. Okay. And then one last thing, in your power hour, make sure you guys, once you're done with all your stuff, make sure you at least check the team pages once a day. You don't have to pay attention to everything that's going on in there, but anything that's, yeah, Erin, that's for you. Anything that's super important will be posted in the team pages. So if you're going to just stay up on the most important stuff, it's going to be in there. So take 2 seconds, make sure there's nothing super important that's going on. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents, because it's hard to keep everyone informed. Like, I wish I could somehow text every single one of my coaches with all the cool stuff that's going on, but I haven't figured out a way to do that yet. So the team page is important, but only if you actually check in on it. Okay, I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions whatsoever? Does that help you guys at all? Like, get a feel for, okay, what I'm actually supposed to be doing when I show up to work? And obviously it was a lot of talking because I wanted to explain some of the stuff, but when you show up, it is go time. So it's not scrolling time. It's not whatever. It is get in, get out, get done, be unplugged, be done, live your life. And when you do that, you'll be motivated to show up the next day. You'll be fired up to return the messages. You'll be excited. When it gets harder is when you constantly feel like you're doing all the stuff all the time and not getting anywhere, because you're actually not doing anything right or correctly or with focus. So just be intentional, be disciplined, do this stuff every day. If you need to play this and then pause it and do the stuff, play this, pause it, do the stuff until you find your groove, you will find your groove. And then it's like brushing your teeth and making breakfast and whatever. It just becomes a part of your daily plan. When you do it, schedule it in, make it a priority, and you'll see huge growth in your business. Okay. Anything else before we get off?
Micah, I have a tidbit
Yeah.
just because I've been doing this a lot with the Instagram direct messages. If you do video, make sure you swipe it until it says leave in chat, because if not, it'll only let them replay it once and then it's gone. So I've been doing the videos and people love that because they get to connect with me more. But if I forget and then they're like, oh, I didn't get a chance to hear it because the kids were whatever. So just make sure you swipe it until it says to leave it in the chat.
Okay, so what she's talking about is when you go to record, just in case you don't know, when you go to record the video, you record it and then it pops up. I just did that. It pops up, view once, allow replay, or keep in chat. So if you swipe over to keep in chat, it'll stay there forever and they can keep replaying it. So that's what she was talking about. That's an awesome tip, Maria. Okay. All right. I'm excited for you guys. Oh, yay, Amanda. Go, Amanda. Feel free to share this with your teams if you feel like it's going to be helpful. This is the most important stuff, you guys. Not anything fancy, not anything hard. But if you can be consistent with this stuff, you will see success. You'll impact people. You'll help people. You will grow in your confidence. The more you do, the easier it gets. So don't be afraid to fail forward. I look back at some conversations and posts that I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so awful. But that's how you learn. So we're trying to help you like overcome some of that by giving you some guidance, because I had none. But you'll find your voice. You'll gain your confidence. And you'll find your stride. So just continue to do these things. And I mean, you can make this whatever you want. All right. Have a good day, you guys.